Hello and welcome to episode 12 of my Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker playthrough. We're heading to Garlemald. Let us not divvy or delay. I imagine these all have the same thing to say. I suppose it's easy for some people to forget that they are civilians in Garlemald too. Oh no, this is new. When the only Imperials they've ever known are soldiers. With the knowledge that our allies will hold the line in our absence, we may devote our attention to the Ilsabardian front. So that's Gaius Balsar. The horrors he must have seen, many of his own making, I do not doubt. Like Gaius, I too stand accused of Varus's murder, though I am rather less recognisable on sight. Still, it's something I'd bear in mind once we reach Garlemald. I neglected to mention earlier that we received a report from our troops that may be of interest to you. While engaged with a lunar primal, a great worm swooped down from the skies above and came to their aid. This worm, as described, was the spitting image of Tiamat. It would seem she too continues to wage war against the Torfroi. Once we've seen the contingent on its way, I'll return to my duties here in Alamigo. As many of our most capable will be travelling with you to Garlemald, we who remain will have to fight that much harder to make up the difference. But let no man say I did not welcome the challenge. Aye, this old bull isn't ready to hang up his horns yet. Regardless as to how my countrymen receive you, the cold will not treat you kindly. Underestimate it at your peril. I mean, is this not warm enough? I mean, I've got a hat on, I'm covering my eyes, I'm covering my ears. Sure, it might be a bit breezy around the arms, the chest, and I think that's leather leggings, so maybe I'll only lose my arms and my neck. Maxima would have you meet your new travelling companions. The other members of the Ilsabard contingent are gathering in the Royal Palace. I shall inform them of your arrival, so please make your way inside as soon as you are ready. As the remaining members of the Scions, your friends and most of the Ilsabard contingents await you within. Would you like me to see you through? Yes, please. Please be voiced, let me drink my tea.
By the 12.
That's a hell of a contingent. Oh! Is Lise coming with us? I recognise her. I recognise him.
Glad you could join us. I hope you don't mind, but we went ahead and started without you.
As you can imagine, our travelling companions were eager to become acquainted. 'Tis a rare thing indeed to see such a diverse and talented group of individuals assembled for a single purpose. We fight not only for the sake of Eorzea, but for the entire world, including the people of Garlemald. Much rides on the efforts of the Ilsabard contingent.
Okay, so let's see if we can identify all of these. They're black mages, there's Pippin, there's Lise. Is that... I think that's, I forget the name of it, but that's the brother of the white mage trainers. These two are part of the Bard job quest. No, I don't think it's him. I'm not 100% sure who he is. I recognise him. The one at the back is the scholar job person. This one here is for the Dragoon. That there is the brother of... Oh god. Fortemp. I forget his first name. That's terrible of me. How can I forget his first name? He's from the House Fortemp. That one there, behind him, is the machinist's trainer. Scattering in the back look mostly just like random people. Who's this little guy? He looks like he's supposed to be a monk, but I don't recognize him from anywhere. And it bothers me that I can't remember that guy. I know I've seen him before. I recognize him. I just can't place him.
Indeed, which is why I am glad to find myself in the company of many trusted comrades, yourselves included.
Lucia.
Who is also a guardian.
I have come at the behest of Lord Emmerich, who has honored me with the role of Ishgard's representative. And for the good of all nations, not least my former homeland, I am determined to see this mission through to its end. We have a hard road ahead of us, but walk it we shall, together.
We too welcome this opportunity to work together once more. I have faith that, if there is a way to resolve this conflict, we will find it.
Allow me to introduce you to the rest of our company. Everyone! If I may have your attention. Might I ask you to speak first?
If I must. I am Arun Senna, spokesman for the Gridanian delegation. Here on behalf of my esteemed sister, the Elder Seedseer.
And you have never had a voice before. To be fair, most of the people here have never had a voice before.
We shall provide support and protection to those in need during our time in Garlemald. To that end, I am joined by healers selected by the Conjurers Guild, with the Order of the Twin Adder's Finest serving as our escort. Of course, with an experienced white mage such as yourself accompanying us as well, those requiring more involved treatment will be in safe hands. Raya O sends her regards, by the way.
That's his sister. Every single one of them.
Better say my piece.
It's every single one of them gonna call out the fact that I've leveled their jobs to level 80.
Wait, I know you. The name's Sicard, in case you've forgotten. Truth be told, I'd rather you had forgotten. Any road, the Admiral asked Captain Hillfear to send his best, and for whatever reason, he picked me.
Oh! I remember who he is. He's involved in one of the 5.X quests. He gets into a duel with the Admiral and handily loses.
Of course, if I'd refused, I'd be the laughing stock of the bloody executioners, and my reputation's taken enough of a keyhauling as it is. But more importantly, like any pirate worth his salt, I know when you're staring down a storm, you gotta trust in the commander of your ship. So if the Admiral wants us to go to Garlemald, not for plunder and glory, but the promise of peace in our time, then that's what we'll do. Since we all know how much the Empire loves its steel, we thought we'd bring along a few smiths to make the most of it. Give them a pile of scrap and they'll cobble together anything you fancy. Of course, just like the Gridanians, we got fighters of our own. We might have come with a more constructive purpose in mind, but we're more than capable of cracking skulls, believe you me.
Well, you're certainly raring to go. Then again, so are we. The most dependable warriors of Uldar and Alamigo have assembled at the Sultana and General Aldin's behest. If Garlemald has truly fallen, then the whole place is likely to be crawling with Telophoroi. We'll need plenty of troops to clear and hold a path for others to follow. That's where we come in. Naturally, Marshal Terrapin and I will be leading from the front.
It's been some time since I last saw you in your element on the battlefield.
From what I've heard, you've become pretty fearsome yourself. Master Matoya? The Avatar of Destruction?
I do hope you're not planning on wearing that. Because while what I'm wearing is probably not good enough, what you're wearing will absolutely get you killed.
With comrades like these, I know we'll succeed, no matter what awaits us.
I mean, what did your Stoner think, that they wasn't going to tell you, Ace? Your Stoner gives us enough crap. Of course we're going to give it back.
And then we might finally get a chance to enjoy a good long rest. But until then, let's give it our all.
As for Ishgard, we Temple Knights have come in force to uphold our nation's commitment to the peace and welfare of our allies. The bitter cold of Garlemald is a formidable enemy in of itself. Our experience fighting in ice and snow will prove invaluable in the days ahead. Accordingly, I have been designated commander of the Ilsabard contingent. I will do all in my power to provide you with the leadership and guidance you require. The four high houses, House Hylinart foremost among them, have arranged for a host of machinists to join us on our mission. Their knowledge of Imperial Magitech is sure to be a great boon. They will address any problems of a technical nature, together with the smiths of Limpsa Lomitsa. There is another awaiting introduction.
Lord Emanolaine!
Ah, yes. Emanolaine de Forton, at your service. Though, lest there be any misunderstanding, I should stress that I've not become a fearsome warrior while you were away. Rather, far from it, actually. My brother, in his infinite wisdom, decided this would be an excellent chance to make something of myself. Oh, and fight for world peace and all that. But, should the opportunity arise for a spot of ballroom dancing, I will be your twinkle-toed gentleman of light.
May your graceful prancing lead the way to victory. I dare say your fancy footwork may be all that stands between us and sudden doom there.
Huzzah! I cannot wait to regale Honoroa with my tales of daring do.
I believe that concludes introductions for the Grand Company of Eorzea. Our allies from the Eastern Alliance were due to arrive some time ago, but it would appear they have been delayed.
And enter stage, right? No?
Would that be the Shinobi of Doma?
Actually, they've been tasked with relaying messages back and forth between the various Eastern nations. According to Lord Hien, however, an equally capable company of warriors has been sent in their stead.
Nah. Now Gosetsu put down his sword. Nah. They wouldn't. Would they? I kind of want it to be Gosetsu now. Because we just confirmed it's not going to be Uragiri.
Out of my way, you preening fool!
I was expecting her, but well, I was half expecting her. Hey, it's Best Girl! She Best Girl. The one in the pink, not the one in the blue.
Forgive us for coming late. We are the delegates of the Eastern Alliance.
Ah, I recognise him. He is Gunbreaker Trainer.
Cyrena, and you've brought company.
For battle and blood we come, as the steppe is sorely lacking in both. No towers befoul our lands, so we marched on those of Doma, only to find them beyond our reach. And now our thirst for slaughter will be slaked. No quarter to the enemy!
Sadu Hatun, no. We go to make peace with the Iron Men, not war.
Warriors of the Steppe, we've heard many tales of your bravery. We welcome you as allies. And these other ones you have brought are...
Members of the Dalmascan resistance group, Lente's Tears.
Who are even worse dressed for the occasion. Except the Gunbreaker guy. He's perfectly dressed.
And the Bosnian resistance. Between them, they have a wealth of experience in espionage, and are particularly adept at infiltrating Imperial facilities. Which is fortuitous, since Garlemald's domain is so vast that I could never hope to handle reconnaissance duties all by myself.
Dalmasca, Bosnia, Alamigo. All lands which have suffered the tyranny of the Empire. I would never presume to question your motives. Nevertheless, I must reiterate that our goal is to aid the victims of the Telophoroi, the common folk of Garlemald. And they are victims, make no mistake. Though I understand that many may struggle to see them as such.
You're more right than you know. For every one of us that answered the call, there were a dozen that refused. Not only in Alamigo, but everywhere we went. And who could blame them? The Empire's always been the enemy. But after seeing what we've seen, fighting and working against and with Garleans, there's no denying the simple truth. They're just people. No different from you or I. They've got their share of liars and murderers, but so do we. So do we all. Fordola, who once swore herself to Garlemald, has proven herself a trusted ally time and time again. Every Eorzean here knows Cid Garland, the Imperial defector who shared with us countless technological wonders. Gaius bloody Baelsar himself is working to help rebuild Wurlid, a nation he once conquered. So you can believe me when I say that every fighter here understands and accepts that the Imperials are not monsters and are deserving of help. Or at least that they were able to put aside their feelings for the greater good. It won't be easy, but we're all determined to make this world a better place.
What lingering concerns I may have had were clearly unwarranted. I agree with everything you said wholeheartedly.
Then we are in accord. Now, let us review our strategy. To reach the Garlean capital in northern Ilsabard, we must cross the central mountain range. Fortunately, Garlund Ironworks can provide aerial transport, sparing us this most treacherous part of our journey. However, attempting to fly any closer to Garlemald would attract the attention of the Telophoroi. As they appear to have seized control of the majority of the Imperial military, we must assume that includes its fleet. In addition, Garlemald possesses devices that can interfere with airship navigational systems, further discouraging an airborne approach.
Given the circumstances, the closest we dare deploy our contingent is an area between the range and the capital, the Magna Glaciers. From there, we must travel the rest of the way on foot. We will also need to bring the airships with us to ensure we can withdraw with haste. Although much of the terrain will be blanketed in snow, we should be able to make use of local roads and shipping facilities. The vast ice field will afford us an unobstructed view of the surrounding area. On the other hand, it will also allow others to easily spot us, so it is imperative that we only make camp in positions where we can easily defend ourselves. And the airships, which must be kept safe at all costs.
We cannot account for every possibility, so we must be prepared to think on our feet. We will be tested. Sorely tested, I expect. But for our homes and for our people, and a people not our own but in need, we will succeed. Spare no effort in your preparations. Once we depart, there is no turning back.
Oh god, there's a lot of people to talk to. Look at them all. Should we save Best Girl till last? Or shall we talk to her first? Well, we've got to save Justola till last just because she is the quest giver. Apologies if you didn't like me talking over, well, not talking over, but going through who these people are and trying to remember them. I'm going to do that. You'll have to deal with it. This is extraordinary. To be in such company our finest allies have to offer. With comrades such as these, we are bound to succeed, I'm certain of it. I've been part of a joint military operation like this before, and within far greater numbers. But for some reason, this feels very different to our previous experiences. Despite having shared little more than introductions, there's already a palpable sense of camaraderie. I can say that, but I forgot to breathe. I did not expect to see other former Azure Dragoons here of all places. As he well knows, I'm not one for robust greetings. We shall instead let our lancers do the talking once we're on the battlefield. Then we'll see if the others have been diligent in his training. Our prowess has finally been recognised by the Order of the Twin Azzers. Naturally, Gaidelot is also here helping us. Whilst his ability as a bard is unmatched, I do worry about his judgment. However, you need not. I shall be keeping a close eye on him, I promise. I can't lie to you, Nathan. I wasn't entirely for this whole thing when Sanson spoke to me. But if it means being your brother in arms, then who am I to pettifog? I shouldn't be so hard on him, I suppose. This bard unit is quite impressive, really. Yes, one must give credit where credit is due. Rather uncouth for one to do otherwise, after all. In case you were wondering, Ishiva will be staying behind to defend the 12th Wood and my sister. She was of the opinion she would make a useful addition to our contingent. Oh, I remember who that is. They're talking about a little, basically a very young Pajiel. Because Pajiel don't really age. They can be like hundreds of years old, but she was specifically a young girl who was learning that she was Pajiel. There's a whole history behind that, I won't go into it. Which was flattering, but ultimately it was decided that her skills would be better put to keep our homeland safe, and I am of course obliged to share with her every detail when I return. Greetings, Nathan. The time has come for us Marines to show our valour upon the battlefield, and all who see us will know our name and quake before our might. To victory, come hell or high water. Until the Empire falls, until the Empire fell, Garleans were the only ones we were allowed to impose tariffs upon the sea. Weren't easy pickings, but I made myself a pretty girl. Since they've been so generous to me and mine, perhaps it's time I return the favour by giving a little something back. I'm here representing the Marauders Guild. And it ain't my job to keep the Smiths... and it's my job to keep the Smiths out of harm's way. Mind you, with that hammer of theirs, they can put up a fair fight themselves. With a bit of luck, this will all be over and done with before you know it. maybe when this is all over, you could pay the Axemaster a visit. He still tells all his new recruits about the time you killed Kajatu and avenged his boy's parents. I remember it like it was yesterday. Yeah, I knew he looked familiar, but I didn't think he was part of the warrior questline, that's why. Much further before, he was part of the Marauders questline, the class rather than the job. Often has my father told me of the struggles fared by Alamigo in the days of occupation, and I too have crossed sword with the Empire on many occasions. Though Garlemald has long been our bitter enemy, Her Grace has elected to bolster the Ilsabard contingent with members of the Immortal Flames. As representatives of the Sultanate, we are one with our commitment to the cause. We came as quick as we could. We would follow your example and devastate the Telotheroi with the full extent of our powers. Worry not for your brothers, Buzzy. We will return soon enough. He's one of the what is it? It's not Arcanist, it's the other one. Thaumaturgist. It seems so long since we were sailing across the Ruby Seas and charging about the Azim Steppe with Serena and the others. I'd say we're overdue for another adventure. It brings back memories to see so many familiar faces. We've been through so much together. Good times and not so good. I expect Garlemald will mostly be the latter, but I'd like to believe we'll look back on these days with more fondly in the years to come. But for that to happen, we'll have to make it out of this alive. Don't you die on me, aye? I've led troops into battle many a time, but I've never a unit with such a diverse range of talents. While I've been briefed on their capabilities, I'd expect you could provide additional insight into their strengths and weaknesses. I'd appreciate any advice you have. I'm so glad I found you. I have a letter from Master Hammond. Let's read it together, shall we? Now, let's see here. I have every confidence that your fists will bring the Telotheroi to their knees. And should you espy any beautiful maidens thereabouts, perhaps sing my praises. Charming, Master. Well, more fool me for thinking that the latter would contain something actually inspiring. Let's just forget this note ever existed and focus on the battle ahead. Okay, he's pugilist, he's not monk. Again, wasn't fully sure I kind of recognised him, but I think he must be from the pugilist side of things rather than the monk side of things. I cast my lot with the Popularis to bridge the divide between Garlemald and her territories, that all may be united in common cause. But we were disparaged as a radical element, disinherited dissidents looking to destabilize the Empire from within. Many friends and even my parents perished in the unfortunate accidents. I too would surely have met the same fate had I not defected. Nevertheless, I still dream of equality and peace for all of us. As the world itself stands on the brink of collapse, I hold out hope that one day that dream will become reality. Well, if I'd known that what a social gathering this would have turned out to be, I'd have dressed for the occasion. Still, this seems to be the perfect opportunity to mingle with the other guests. Would I be correct in assuming those ladies over yonder are Serena and Sadu of the Steep? Perhaps I should introduce myself, though I don't much look like the look of the fellow with the enormous axe. Serena will probably be polite to you, but the other one, yeah, no, you're gonna want to not talk to her at all. Seriously, keep well away from her. This is for your own safety. You'll probably get on fine with Serena, but she will likely not care much. Just saying. If it isn't Nathan, 'tis thanks in no small part to you that the manufactory's future is looking brighter than ever, my friend. I am pleased to report that I and a handful of my colleagues have been selected to join the contingent. this expedition has ended, even the Temple Knights will be singing our machinist praises. Once they have borne witness not only to our mechanical proficiencies, but our combat prowess too, of course. Let me have a look at you. A touch nervous to enter the battlefield, perhaps? Well, I shall be out there alongside you as a Temple Knight serving your fine band. Though I may not look it, I was a Zero Dragoon once upon a time, so you can rest assured that I will give it my all, and that I have come in the coming fights. I certainly won't be shown up by you or Estinga. I've close ties with the Scouts of the Eastern Alliance and the various resistance groups, and they're an absolute joy to work with. Blessed are we to have made countless steadfast allies our journey's course. Indeed, we should... Sorry, one sec, drink. Indeed, we are joined today by many new acquaintances, who in time shall we call our comrades, perhaps, and mayhaps friends. I was half expecting to find the man who taught me Red Mage among our number, but he's nowhere to be seen. I suppose he has had his share of unpleasant experiences with the Empire, but so have we all. Perhaps there is some other reason. Oh yeah, we should know that. I forget what happened to him. I know the last lost her power and she's trying to regain it, but I forget the specifics of what he was doing. I think he was rebuilding the Red Mages. Was his intent, at least. Well, in any case, I have a feeling we'll see him again once this is all over. I'm sure he'll be pleasantly surprised by how much my swordplay has improved since we last met. We spoke to Alphino, didn't we? Yeah. Hey there. Allow me to express my deepest gratitude for your role in liberating Bosja. Me and my countrymen owe you more than we could ever hope to repay. Now that our dream has finally been fulfilled, oh, good lord. What's his face? Has seen fit to send me and a few of us to join this expeditionary force. I hope our skills will be of use. Are you going to do anything more than grunt? With the Mole, champion of the Nadam, and the Dothraki. No, that's not what it is. Dothraki is Game of Thrones, Nathan. And the Dothral, having sent so many here, I had thought to defend the steep in their absence. And I would have done so were it not for my steep brothers. They urged me to grant our allies the sun's might, that his radiance may deliver them upon victory. Though I must tolerate the presence of this feral Dothral, this feral Dothral dog, as first among my brothers, I could do no less than accept this challenge. My deed will become the stuff of legend. You ready to die? I care not for the Iron Men and their trouble. It is destiny, or is the destiny of the weak to die in ignominy. Even so, I will do as I've agreed. I volunteer to join this band at Serena's request, and if she thinks it's a worthy cause, that is reason enough. Though we hail from different tribes, our bond has grown strong of late. She is much better company on a hunt than any of the Steep's oafish men could dream to be. Hey there! I am glad to see you well, Nathan. Grandmother was worried about you. The night I agreed to come hither and join the contingent, the gods sent her a strange dream. This is important because they their tribe can foresee the future, or their tribe's god gives or tells them like the direction they should take their tribe. Two suns, one burned red, the other frozen black. Closer they circled, closer and closer, and as they danced the world fell to ruin. A blinding chaos she spied, blackened silhouettes, in a blinding chaos she spied blackened silhouettes, and knew at once one was yours. Yet we knew not how to interpret this dream, save as a sign that great danger awaits. But whatever lies ahead, I will walk with you, traveller. She's the best. No one can tell me otherwise. You can be subjectively right, but you will always be objectively wrong. Besides the delegates assembled here, the Emolja and several other tribes offered to send troops of their own. Unfortunately, due to their physiology, many would struggle to simply survive in the harsh climates of Ilsabard. They would also most likely provoke tempting targets for abductions by the Cloth Lord. All things considered, they can better aid the cause by bolstering our defence in Eorzea, though their eagerness to do more has been noted. We few shall have to suffice. Ere we embark, we must dispute the Warden Scales to our comrades. Care to do the honours? But I literally just spoke to everyone. I already went ahead and spoke to everyone. Ah, it's different text, we're fine. Warden Scales for Ishgard or for the Ishgardian delegates, I take it? Yep. These enchanted talismans, or should it be or should that be talismen, would probably require considerably less time and effort to produce if the alchemists of the great work were not so preoccupied with making them look so pretty. Many thanks. These talismen may prove to be the deciding factor in the battles to come. I find myself conflicted by this foray into Garlemord, sent by the Emperor to do. Let's try this one more time. Sent by the Empire to infiltrate Ishgard, only to throw my lot in with those whose secret I was supposedly to steal. And now I lead a mission to save my countrymen, or the countrymen I betrayed. But that is doubtlessly why I was chosen by Lord Amric. He would have me put my extensive knowledge and former ties to good use. I will not disappoint him. For the future of Ishgard, Garlemord, and the world at large, I will lead us to victory. Is that a set of Warden Scales I spy? Not that I would know what they look like. Wow, look at these. Even a layman like me can tell that they're bursting with ether. All the better to fend off the tempering waves? Is that the right term? Anyway, these will give us one less thing to worry about, which just leaves the other mountain of whatever else is waiting for us in Garlemord. Only one way to find out, eh? And nervous or not, I'd march through all 7 hells if it gave me a chance to put Xenos back in his grave where he belongs. I hear you got something for us. Ah, them scales, the scales everyone been talking about? Pretty little things, aren't they? I reckon they'll be worth a gil or two when all this is over, but we'll hold on to them for now. One more thing. I know what you're all thinking. Why didn't they send... I forget, I can't... Einzard instead. We'll go with that. Buggered if I know. All the Admiral and Captain Hilfels told me was that they needed someone to help safeguard the future. And here I am. Can't say they haven't got a sense of humour. Of course, some of you might be wondering what good a pirate is on dry land, and in the middle of the sudden snow of all places. Well, me and me crew will do whatever needs doing, so let's set sail, or however the saying goes on an airship. Yes? So these are the famed Warden Scales. Enough for me and my men, I see. I myself am especially grateful for this opportunity to visit distant lands. I wish to follow in the footsteps of Master Aetoa, and learn all that there is to learn of this star we call home. Indeed, that is the primary reason I volunteered for this expedition. To journey outside the 12 Woods, much less enter the Imperial territory, is a rare privilege afforded a Pajil. Not that I'm tagging along just to see the sights. The Guardians would benefit from my healing magics, as would our combats should fighting break out. We heard that it would be cold in Garlemord, so we came prepared. You already look like you're prepared. Less so her. Oh, the talismans. We are to keep these close at all times. Yes, I will see that no one. I will see that no one misplaces theirs. Oh, and before I forget, I have a message from Hien. In distant lands, in times of strife, together stand, together fight. The darkness shines, the light of life. I hope this has done done his words justice. Doma, much like Orthard, has been plagued by the towers, and while he could not be here, he wished to express his shared conviction. Hien and Uegiri will labour without rest to unite the people, and with their aid, will we keep the enemy at bay. And we of the Steep and the Eastern Alliance will repay their efforts by the end of this war. Do you have the Warden scales for me too? Thank you for this, and for going to such incredible lengths for the sake of my people. Though I have little to offer in return, I would impart some advice, if I may. You may have been told, or you may have been told by many, to wear the cold of Isba. I've entirely forgotten the pronunciation of that. It's gone. It's just gone. Ilsabard. I cannot stress enough that this is not a token warning. We will be distributing specially made warming tinctures, courtesy of the Alchemist Guild, but understand that they are no substitute for proper protection. I'll leave the provision of said protection to your discretion. Now let us proceed to the Alamegan Quarter. While you make your final preparations, I will have the pilots ready the airship. Good lord. After a couple of episodes of not needing to talk much, so much talking. It's my own fault for wanting to get all of the additional dialogue from all of these people, so let us continue with that. Preparations? I've got my armour and my lance. What more could I need? Since my revival, I have been lax in expanding my limited wardrobe. Think we have time for a quick trip back to Old Charlia? I recall a rather fetching coat. If you have anything you still need to take care of, best see to it now. This coat is quite warm, but I have something rather thicker for the occasion, or for occasions like these. There's no telling how much longer we'll be out in the open, and we can't go starting fires willy-nilly if we want to avoid detection. Concoctions to fortify the flesh against wind and cold are commonly sold in Uldan's markets, though they are doubtless... Oh. I know what the last one is. Efficacy. I'm not sure what that word is or how to pronounce it, so we're not going to try. 'Tis said, however, that in recent days the Alchemist Guild have produced a tincture capable of such a feat. Mayhap the achievement of their Fanavenarian counterparts did spur them to action. That, and not to be put to shame. It's something of a consistent frame that we require warm clothes. My present garb may be lacking, fur collar notwithstanding. This is our last chance to make ready before we set forth. You needn't worry about Urian, Jay and I. We still have what we wore in Garlemord before. Estinian claims to be quite warm and toasty beneath his armour, and since he's spent a fair bit of time up north recently as well, I have no reason to doubt his word. Most of the others will be borrowing Grand Company stock. The rest of you should do likewise, I suppose. provided they are not overly concerned with style. Not to put too fine a point in it, but I wouldn't be seen dead in one of those ridiculous overcoats. If only I had time to find something to my liking. Oh, is Matoya? Did Matoya hear that? Huck, is that the cry of Scion in need of a tailor I hear? No, that's Tataru. Tataru. She is our tailor. But how? She's already got our garments ready. Mwahaha, I have my ways. Oh yes, indeed. You thought you could sneak off to Ilsabard without telling me. Ha, nothing escapes my notice. Now, you will wear these garments I made for you, whether you like it or not. I guess I don't have a choice, I'm going to have to put the glamour on. You never cease to amaze. But why do you need new outfits as well? Wait, are you coming with us? What? No, of course not, silly. It's all in the name of fashion. Rather, the pursuit of the highest quality fashion. Besides, how can I expect others to wear my creations if I've never worn them myself? Ah, I did have one other thing to share. Pronunciation and Pronunciation have finally returned from their assignment in Faraway Land. They'll be staying at the Rising Stone for a while, to keep an eye on events throughout Eorzea. Since they'll be running things back at headquarters, I was wondering if I could lend a hand in Charlian? Oh, why not? You can keep Cryo company in the Baldician Annex. Yes, we'd love to have you there. And I hear Agwetheth and Bloomwugeth? That is nowhere near right. I have no idea. Did a fine job carrying on in our stead while we were laying comatose. With them in charge of the Rising Stones, we've nothing to worry about. My thoughts exactly. Also, while I'm confident you won't go collapsing again, because of a certain someone who shall remain nameless is in a position to transport your souls to another world, I mean, because a certain someone who shall remain nameless isn't in possession of in a position to, if anything similarly disastrous were to happen, we'll be well positioned to do something about it. Anyway, I've got a few things to take care of, and then I'll make my way to Charlian. I really do hope these new clothes are enough to keep you warm in Garlemald. It's not much, but it's the only thing I can do for you, other than pray for your safe return, which I will, every day. Let's not keep the contingent waiting any longer. Here's your winter woolies, handcrafted by yours truly. I get the feeling this isn't going to go particularly well with the rest of my getup. Oh, good. If I had to, or if it was going straight there, that would have been a problem. It is level 1. Let's have a look. Let us... No, we don't want to class Glamour on that. We're going to cast Glamour on that and see how it affects everything else. You know what? I think this still works. Because it looks like I'm just wearing... This is just an overcoat. This still works. Okay, we'll have to keep this somewhere safe because I'm going to have to keep changing back and forth until I get to a Glamour Jesser. But we shall call it there for now. Because if we continue on any longer, we're going to go well over an hour. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. I am probably not going to record another one today, so we'll save that for tomorrow morning. But thank you again for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. I just said that. And hopefully I will see you next time when my voice is feeling much better. Cheerio.